So Terrence, do you remember telling me that it started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton?
I see the message there, but I don't recall. I do see that message, but I do not recall.
You don't recall texting this?
I look back at my text messages through that we've had. I see that message, but I do not recall that. No, ma'am.
This is Terrence Bradley, Nathan Wade's ex-law partner and divorce attorney, being questioned by Ashley Merchant, a lawyer for Trump's co-defendant, Michael Roman, in the massive Georgia election interference criminal case. Over several months, Bradley and Merchant shared hundreds of text messages. He was basically feeding her information about DA Fani Willis and his former friend, Nathan Wade, basically telling her that their affair began long before Wade and Willis have testified it began. Here are a couple of those text messages. Ashley Merchant says, "That's the thing. Even without evidence of sex, he paid for her plane tickets and her travel." And then Terrence Bradley says, "Subpoena them all." And then Ashley Merchant says, "I am nervous. This is huge." And then Terrence Bradley says, "You are huge. You will be fine. You are one of the best lawyers I know. Go be great." Of course, on the stand under oath, Terrence Bradley couldn't remember saying anything ever about anything. Certainly not about when Wade and Willis began dating.
I've said over again that I didn't have any personal information where I could personally say when it started. I've said that time and time again. So I don't know when the relationship started.
So Terrence Bradley is saying one thing in the texts, but he's saying a totally different thing on the witness stand under oath.
So my question is, when did you first gain knowledge? I didn't ask the source of the knowledge, didn't ask you to comment on the validity of the knowledge. I asked when you first had knowledge.
We'll get to the how, Mr. Abadi. So I'll note the objection, overrule it. He can answer that.
And just for the record, and I appreciate your honor, but he said he had no personal knowledge, so he had to gain the knowledge from hearsay.
He could have gained it from
Sure.
Mr. Wade.
Well, I mean, most of us learn things from hearsay. The question of whether it's admissible, right? And that's what we got to get to. So.
I apologize.
When did you first get knowledge? I'm not qualifying what type of knowledge. I'm just asking when you first knew about the relationship.
I don't know how to answer that. I mean, so I can't give you a date if you're asking for a date. If you're asking me, how did I get the knowledge? It would have come directly from my client.
Right.
So help me understand.
I think you say you can't answer that question. You don't know the date. So that's the answer to the question.
But I said that 5 minutes ago.
We have to make it clear.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Next question, Ms. Merchant.
So you don't know the specific date.
No.
Do you know if can we narrow down the timeline? Did you gain knowledge in 2019 of this relationship beginning?
I'm going to object to this line of questioning as he said he does not know
Sure.
when he gained
All right.
knowledge.
He doesn't know the specific
That's
date.
fine, Ms. Merchant. I think I'm overruling that. I think we can try to see if he can narrow it down based on goalposts.
Thank you.
19, I would probably say no. I mean, I don't have anything that there wasn't a specific date. There wasn't a football game. There wasn't something that I can attribute to him telling me whatever. And so you're asking for a date, you're asking for a year, it's still a date. And at this time, I am telling you that I do not have the date.
The judge is hearing evidence in a motion to disqualify Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis from prosecuting Trump and multiple co-defendants for trying to steal the 2020 presidential election in Georgia. It's a strong case. There's audio and video evidence and plenty of witnesses. The issue here, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's ex-lover, Nathan Wade. There's a charge that Willis hired Wade so he could take her on expensive trips using taxpayer money. Willis and Wade deny the allegations, testifying their relationship began after she hired him and then ended about a year later.
Mr. Bradley, you realize that if you were to testify under oath, that you knew from Mr. Wade that the relationship between him and Miss Willis existed before the contract in November 1st of 2021, that if you testified that you knew that from Mr. Wade, that would show that both Miss Willis and Mr. Wade had lied under oath. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna object.
I think that's going to call for an opinion on the credibility of another testifying witness. So I don't think that would be an appropriate question.
And that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Sadow.
This was a legal fishing expedition. Attorneys for Trump and other Georgia election interference defendants thought they were going to catch a big one. Instead, they reeled in nothing.